The sound of David's laughter cut through the church like a knife through silence. Everyone turned to stare. His wife Sarah lay cold in the white box just 3 feet away, and here he was, laughing like he just heard the best joke of his life. But wait, before I tell you why David was laughing at the woman he claimed to love for 15 years, let me warn you, this story will shake you to your core. What you're about to discover about love, lies, and the deadly price of secrets will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about marriage. And trust me, you need to stay until the end because what happens in the final moments, it will blow your mind. The pastor stopped talking. The choir stopped singing. Even the babies stopped crying. 200 people sat frozen in Mount Zion Church that Tuesday morning in Lagos. Their eyes moved between David and the box holding Sarah's body. The woman everyone called the perfect wife. David wiped tears from his eyes, but they weren't sad tears. These were tears of joy. Pure, sick joy. Sorry, he whispered to the crowd, trying to control himself. Sorry, I just remembered something funny Sarah used to do. But his sister Rose knew better. She sat in the front row, watching her brother with horror. This wasn't grief. This was something else. Something dark. Sarah's mother, Mrs. Grace, stood up from her seat. Her face was red with anger. How dare you? She screamed at David. My daughter is dead and you're laughing? The whole church erupted. People started shouting. Some stood up. Others pointed fingers at David. Shame on you. What kind of man laughs at his wife's funeral? This is evil. But David kept smiling. He looked down at Sarah's peaceful face through the glass of the coffin. Her dark skin glowed like she was just sleeping. Her favorite red lipstick still painted her lips. The same lips that used to kiss him goodnight every single day for 15 years. She looks so beautiful, David said softly. Just like the day I married her. His words made the crowd even angrier. But David didn't care. He had been waiting for this moment for 3 long months. Ever since the day Sarah came home from the hospital with that paper in her hand. The paper that changed everything. You see, Sarah died of cancer. Stomach cancer that ate her from the inside out. The doctors gave her 6 months to live, but she only lasted 3. During those 3 months, David was the perfect husband. He took her to every doctor visit. He held her hand during chemotherapy. He cooked her favorite soup when she was too weak to eat. He even learned to braid her hair when the treatment made it fall out. Everyone in their neighborhood praised him. David is such a good man, the women would say. The way he's taking care of Sarah, that's true love. If my husband loved me half as much as David loves Sarah, I'd be the happiest woman alive, their neighbor Jane used to joke. But what none of them knew was the secret David had been carrying. The secret that was slowly burning him inside, just like the cancer was eating Sarah. The secret Sarah whispered to him on her deathbed just 2 days ago. David, I have something to tell you before I die. He leaned closer to her hospital bed. Her voice was so weak he could barely hear her. The children, Emma and James. David's heart started beating fast. Emma was their 12-year-old daughter. James was their 10-year-old son. Both kids were at home with Rose, too young to spend long hours in the hospital watching their mother fade away. What about them, Sarah? What about our children? Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Her hand squeezed his fingers with what little strength she had left. They're not yours, David. Emma and James, they're not your children. The world stopped spinning. David stared at his dying wife. The woman he loved more than his own life. The woman he married when they were both 22 years old. The woman who gave him 2 beautiful children. The woman who cooked his favorite meals, laughed at his terrible jokes, and made their little house feel like heaven on earth. What did you say? I'm so sorry, David. I'm so sorry. I had an affair with Michael. You remember Michael? Your best friend from university. Oh, David remembered Michael. Michael was his best man at their wedding. Michael who used to come over for Sunday dinners. Michael who taught Emma how to ride her bicycle. Michael who took James to football practice when David was working late. Michael who moved to America 5 years ago and never came back. The children are his. I wanted to tell you so many times, but I was scared. I was a coward. Please forgive me, David. Please don't hate me. Sarah died 6 hours later. For 2 days, David sat in their empty house, staring at pictures of Emma and James, looking for signs he had missed. And slowly, he began to see them. Emma had Michael's nose. James had Michael's laugh. Neither of them looked anything like David. How could he have been so blind? How could the woman he loved destroy his entire life with 7 simple words, "They're not yours, David"? Emma and James. But here's the thing that made David laugh at Sarah's funeral. Here's the sick, twisted thing that made him smile while everyone else cried. Sarah thought she was confessing to save her soul before she died. But David already knew. Now here's where this story gets really crazy, and why you need to keep watching, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything you think you know about this man, this marriage, and what revenge really looks like. See, David wasn't just a loving husband. David was something else. Something Sarah never suspected in 15 years of marriage. And what he did with Sarah's confession, what he had been planning for the past 2 days while everyone thought he was grieving, that's going to shock you beyond belief. The funeral service continued. People slowly sat back down, still whispering about David's strange behavior. Some thought grief had made him crazy. Others thought he was just a heartless man. But Rose kept watching her brother. She knew David better than anyone else in the world. And she could see something in his eyes that scared her. Something that looked like victory. As the pastor began reading Sarah's favorite Bible verse, David reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. He typed a short message and sent it to someone. It's done. Sarah is gone. Time for phase 2. Within seconds, he got a reply. Perfect. The kids suspect nothing. See you tonight. M. David smiled again and put the phone away. M for Michael. Michael who was supposed to be in America. Michael who was actually hiding in a hotel room just 20 minutes away from the church. Michael who had been planning this with David for the past 3 months. But why would David work with the man who destroyed his marriage? Why would he team up with the father of his children? And what exactly was phase 2? Michael walked into the hotel room where David was waiting. It had been 2 hours since Sarah's funeral ended. 2 hours since David buried the only woman he ever loved. 2 hours since the biggest lie of his life finally came to an end. Did anyone suspect anything at the funeral? Michael asked, sitting down across from his former best friend. David poured 2 glasses of whiskey. His hands were steady now. The shaking from the morning was gone. They think I'm crazy with grief, David said. Perfect. Michael took the glass and drank. And the children? Emma and James are with Rose. They think I need time alone to mourn. David's voice was cold. Empty. They have no idea what's really happening. But here's the truth that's going to destroy your heart. David had known about Sarah and Michael's affair for 5 years. 5 long years. He knew Emma and James weren't his biological children. He knew Sarah was cheating. He knew Michael was lying to his face every Sunday dinner. But David wasn't just any ordinary man. David was a forensic accountant. His job was finding hidden money, secret accounts, and financial crimes. And 3 months before Sarah got sick, David discovered something that changed the game forever. Michael had been stealing money from his company in America. Millions of dollars. Money that he had been sending to Sarah. Money that Sarah had been hiding in secret accounts. Money that was supposed to be David's revenge. Show me the accounts, Michael said. David opened his laptop. On the screen were bank statements showing $2.3 million spread across 5 different accounts. All in Sarah's name. She never suspected I knew, David explained. For 5 years, she thought she was so smart, taking your stolen money and hiding it from me. Michael nodded. And now that she's dead. Now that she's dead, I'm her legal husband. Everything she owned comes to me. David smiled, that same sick smile from the funeral. Including the money you stole. But wait, it gets worse. Much worse. Michael leaned forward. What about my children? Emma and James. And that's when David said the words that will chill you to the bone. What children? Emma and James aren't your children either. The glass fell from Michael's hand and shattered on the floor. What are you talking about? David pulled out a folder from his briefcase. Inside were DNA test results. Tests he had done secretly 2 years ago when his suspicions first started. I had them tested. Emma and James, they don't match your DNA either. Michael's face went white. That's impossible. Sarah told me. Sarah lied to you too. David's laugh was bitter. She was sleeping with 3 different men, Michael. You, me, and someone else. Someone she never told either of us about. The room went deadly quiet. Michael stared at the papers like they might burst into flames. Everything he believed for the past 5 years was a lie. Just like everything David believed. Just like everything Sarah had built was lies on top of lies. Who? Michael whispered. Who is the real father? David closed the folder. Does it matter? The children think I'm their father. They love me. They trust me. And now with Sarah gone. You're going to keep them. I'm going to keep them. And I'm keeping your money too. Michael stood up fast, his chair falling backward. You can't do this, David. That money belongs to me. Really? David pulled out his phone. Should I call the FBI and tell them where the missing $2.3 million is? Should I tell them about your fake identity in America? About the company you've been robbing blind? Michael's hands started shaking. We were supposed to be partners. You said you wanted revenge on Sarah too. I got my revenge. David's voice was ice cold. I watched Sarah die thinking she was confessing her sins to save her soul. I let her believe I was the good husband who never knew about the affair. She died carrying guilt that was eating her alive. And here's the part that will break your heart. David pulled out one more paper from his briefcase. A medical report. Sarah's medical report. The cancer, Michael. Sarah's cancer. What about it? David's eyes were full of tears, but not sad tears. Angry tears. Tears of pure rage. It wasn't natural cancer. Someone gave her chemical agent. Small doses over 6 months. Arsenic mixed into her food. The room felt like ice. Michael backed away from David slowly. You're lying. Am I? David stood up. Sarah trusted me to cook for her when she got sick. She trusted me to take care of her medicine. She trusted me to love her even when she was dying. But David had been slaying her slowly for 6 months. Every meal he cooked. Every glass of water he brought her. Every loving gesture was laced with chemical agent. Sarah didn't pass away because of cancer. Sarah passed away because of revenge. Michael ran for the door, but David was faster. He grabbed Michael's arm and spun him around. Where are you going, old friend? We're not done talking. You're insane. You slayed your own wife. I took away a cheating liar who destroyed my life and stole my money. David's grip tightened. But don't worry, Michael. I'm not going to slay you. Michael looked confused. What? David smiled one last time. I'm going to let the FBI do that for me. And that's when Michael heard them. Footsteps in the hallway. Heavy footsteps. Moving toward their hotel room. David had been wearing a wire the entire time. Every word Michael said was being recorded. Every confession about the stolen money. Every admission about the affair. The door burst open. FBI. Michael Johnson, you're under arrest for financial fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. As the agents handcuffed Michael, he screamed at David, the children. What about Emma and James? They deserve to know the truth. David watched his former best friend being dragged away. Then he called his sister Rose. Rose? It's David. Yes, I'm okay. Can you bring Emma and James home? I want to make them dinner tonight. Their favorite meal. And that's when the real horror of this story hits you. David wasn't done with his revenge. He had spent 5 years planning the perfect punishment for everyone who betrayed him. Sarah died believing she was confessing to a loving husband. Michael was going to prison for 20 years. And Emma and James. Those innocent children who loved David like a real father. They were about to learn that the man who raised them, the man who tucked them in at night, the man who taught them to ride bicycles and helped with homework, that man had just slayed their mother. And there was nothing anyone could do to stop him. 3 hours later, David sat at the dinner table with Emma and James. They were eating spaghetti and laughing about funny memories of their mother. Daddy, Emma said, why were you laughing at Mommy's funeral today? David looked at his beautiful daughter. The daughter who wasn't his blood but was still his heart. Because, sweetheart, your mommy told me the funniest joke right before she died. And she made me promise to laugh about it whenever I missed her. What was the joke? James asked. David smiled and served them more food. She said that love is the deadliest thing in the world. Because when someone you love betrays you, it doesn't slay you right away. It slays you slowly, one day at a time, until there's nothing left but revenge. The children laughed, not understanding. But David understood perfectly. And somewhere in federal prison, Michael would spend the rest of his life understanding too. Sometimes the people who love you the most are the ones who can destroy you completely. And sometimes, the perfect revenge takes 5 years to cook. Just like the perfect chemical agent. This story shows us that betrayal, lies, and revenge create a cycle that destroys everyone it touches. The real tragedy isn't just Sarah's passing away, or Michael's arrest, or even David's transformation into a monster. The real tragedy is Emma and James, 2 innocent children who will grow up never knowing the truth about the people they loved most. Trust, once broken, can turn love into something deadly. And the price of secrets is always higher than we imagine.